Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and welcome back. Today is day 25 of the free Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge. Okay. Today's exciting. We have our day 25 prompt, which means we're 5 days away from being done with the 30-day challenge so far. So congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back, on the front. It doesn't matter. Pat yourself, okay? Because you did it. And the other thing we're doing today is a workshop where I teach you how to create your own worksheets where you can basically personalize anything that you need to in a ready to learn format that works best for you. So I'm going to teach you how to do that today. I also have down below now for free the journaling analysis workbook. It's a mini little workbook. It's really only 5 pages. It's not like a whole workbook. It's just the analysis in a worksheet form. And I realized that it was going to be more than one page that actually needed to be there. It's a 5 page mini workbook for you to be able to go through. Free down below in the description. Definitely click it. It'll take you over to Pampered and Lust website. And what you will see is this document here that I'm sharing. There we go. So this is the document you'll see once you click that link down below. It has all the pages that tell you how to do each analysis. It also has the actual pages for you to fill out any journal prompt that you'd like to. And since it is a pretty thick sort of workbook to try and do every single day, I definitely recommend doing this maybe once or twice a week with your most influential prompts or the prompts that really hit you the most, or maybe you felt the most overwhelmed by. So definitely check it out down below in the description. And the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is our day 25 prompt, and then we'll get into our workshop for today. So here we go with day 25. Oh my God, are you ready? Also, just a reminder, or really just a heads up, day 25 is sort of the last day where you answer a journal prompt question in the format that we've been doing for the past 25 days. The next 5 days are more so you'll either write a letter to yourself or there's an action that you're supposed to take to help hone in more on yourself. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started with this sort of last actual prompt that you're going to be answering for this free Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge. And that is day 25. What was a twist or turn in my life that seemed like the worst thing ever, but is now kind of the funniest experience I ever had? So definitely think about it, write yours down, get going in the mode, because also it may take a while to be like, okay, it wasn't the funniest, but I definitely can laugh at it now. So even just that, where it felt like it was the worst thing ever, and now you can laugh at it, or now you can see the joy in what was happening there. Just something that you've already kind of transformed your perception on before, an experience you've transformed your perception on before. And that's really the main focus. So write your prompt down. And as we write the prompt down, I'm just going to give you guys a little moment. I usually talk through it, but I really want you to think about it as you're doing it, feel your feelings, go from there. I'll give everyone a moment to write down your prompt and we'll continue with the daily mantras. I won't be giving my answer to this prompt like I usually do. We're going to go ahead and go dive into the worksheet. I have a lot to share with that. So definitely take your time with answering. If you want to answer after we get done with the workshop, feel free to do that. Mm, mm. I will mention that I did have a lot of cups of tea today, and what I drank was the Yogi Women's Moon Cycle tea, and it's honestly really tasty, and it was just kind of helping me keep my body warm and moving, and my organs and whatnot. So that was nice. It did come with little affirmational tabs. There were two others because I've used three different packs today, but I am going to actually use this affirmation for my daily affirmation today. And it brings us right in. So this was my daily cup of tea today. that I had, and I still have everything here with me. I just I didn't feel like making another final cup because I would have had to really unsituate myself and come back in, and I knew I was ready to get us started. So now that you've written down your prompt, definitely feel free. You can answer while you're listening to the mantras, while you're also listening to the workshop, because you still will have access to this workshop. I'm going to make sure that the workshop actually stays up, whether it moves to Pampered and Lux on Instagram and YouTube, or it stays on Rayleigh Jack Graham. It's definitely still going to be there for you to be able to look back over. And you also have that free worksheet down below that also kind of gives it to you. And as long as you're here for the last 30, for the rest of the 30-day sessions, you'll be getting basically the little mini PowerPoints that I've been going over so far with the last 7 days, this sort of ending last week extravaganza to wrap up this 30-day challenge. And you'll be able to get that if you're still watching on day 30. I'll make sure that I get it to you guys. Okay. So with that being said, our daily affirmation today, I'm actually reading it. Um, I'm reading it right now. This is the first time I've read this one. The other two I read while I was making my tea, and this one I didn't read until now. So it feels kind of like a beautiful moment too. And this affirmation says, "The beauty of the soul is constant, continuous, and endless." So I'm gonna adapt it a little so it just feels more personal. The beauty of my soul is, I'm going to say classic, constant, continuous, and ever growing. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah. So the original was "The beauty of the soul is constant, continuous, and endless." And I changed it to "The beauty of my soul is classic, constant, continuous, and ever growing." I really like that. That's definitely giving me some juice for today. I like that a lot. Okay. So next is the daily gratitude. And my daily gratitude today, I am grateful to have breath work and pain management skills. Not only did I bump my toes like 3 different times today, and I just had to breathe through it. Okay. I even like bumped one so hard I kind of scraped it. Like it was not fun. But also I'm drinking my moon tea, and obviously I'm sort of having some cramps. So I'm glad that I have pain management skills. I have my breath work, and I'm glad I can lean into that to feel better. So I'm definitely grateful for that. This, okay. My daily appreciation today, I am proud of myself for starting, continuing, and vamping ramping up. I don't know why I said, I think I've been watching a lot of vampire stuff. Ramping up my energy and process throughout this, or process continuing this 30-day challenge. So I'm proud of myself for starting, continuing, and ramping up my energy and process in this 30-day challenge, because something that I do know about myself, not only do am I not actually really trying to talk to people all the time, like I really prefer a more introverted extrovert lifestyle. And to be doing so much outward um interaction with people, because I am prepared to answer comments and things like that, and actually um see those and interact with the journeys and stories that you all have as well. I definitely am kind of surprised, even though I knew I wanted to. I'm surprised that I got to day 25 without feeling like I'm overexerting and exhausting myself socially. So I'm very proud of myself for taking care of my social energy in that way. I also know that 30 days of doing the same thing is a lot for me. I really like to mix things up. And I found a way to mix it up by making the last week of this challenge an extravaganza. The first week was getting into the mode, and it was really the first 10 days where I was just kind of getting in the habit, understanding what I wanted to say, what was going on. And then from day 11 to day, I would say like day 21, I was really just sort of diving deeper into the elements, and I changed up things there. And then after that, I was like, I need to change some things again. So I changed some things again from day 21 to day um 24 really. And then once day 25 came, I was like, you know what? Let's do a really big last week extravaganza and make this something that's not only super memorable, but even more helpful and useful than the first 24 days. So I'm really proud of myself for doing that. I'm really happy about it and I'm excited. So yeah, that is our daily affirmations and mantras for today. I'll go ahead and read them one more time. The daily affirmation: the beauty of my soul is classic, constant, continuous, and ever growing. My daily gratitude: I am grateful to have breath work and pain management skills. And finally, my daily appreciation for day 25. I am proud of myself for starting, continuing, and ramping up my energy and process in this 30-day challenge. So, yeah, now we're going to get to move on to how to create your own worksheets. Okay. And I know it may seem like I don't even like know if that's something I can do, but you can. You've got this. So, we're going to go ahead and dive right into it. And the way that you would start off, I just want to go ahead and mention once again, we're now less than 7 days. We're actually, after we complete today, we have day 26, day 27, day 28, day 29, and day 30 left. We're 5 days away until we celebrate our 30-day journey of getting ready for change. Okay. And honestly, it's not something to just glance over and say, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. No, this is something that's really impactful, that's really changed not just your daily habits, but how you think. So it's something that's changing your life. Okay. Oh my God. I poured a lot of pepper in my food. I apologize for that. Okay. So yesterday's workshop, if you haven't seen it yet, is I basically just really deep dive once again how to analyze and how to go through your journaling process and actually get the most out of it. And if you'd like to see another way of doing that, you can look at days 18. Day 14 also has a little bit more in depth of versions 1 through 2. And day 18 has literally versions 1 through 4, very in depth. I walked you through it with the prompt that we used for that day. And you can do that. And with day 24, yesterday, we talked about how you can use this analysis process for a journal that is just completely outside of Pampered and Luxed and the Get Ready for Change sort of line. This process is something you can use in any journaling sort of space. It's something you can use for just your thoughts alone, not even a journaling prompt. And definitely check that out if you haven't seen it already. Uh, and also, once you download that analysis worksheet, the journaling analysis worksheet, it still has everything listed there as well, all the information you need on how to analyze your answers and those journal prompts. Today, we're going over how to make your own worksheets. Tomorrow is day 26, where we confront the imposter in us. And it's really something that is going to be super impactful when it comes to stepping into this new self, because you have to acknowledge some things about the past and about the present to get to the future and make the future the present. Day 27, you create your own version of life from this 30-day challenge journey. I show you how to use your analysis to craft weekly goals so that you can actually go from weekly goals, a weekly checklist into actual daily tasks that get you on track and push you forward to where you see yourself. On day 28, create your own personalized 30-day challenge from not only your analysis to your whole 30-day challenge that you've done so far, but also just in the future that you see. We're going to figure out how do you create a 30-day challenge that helps you push forward even more based on where you see yourself going. On day 29, you're going to create your own guided meditation and mantras. That's what I'm really excited about. And we're definitely going to be doing something outside so that I can actually have that energy and space with you where it really feels like we're connected and actually in the mode, in the zone, in the headspace, in the energy. And the last day, day 30, love being you, love living your life. Okay. We're really just going to talk about what it takes to actually start understanding that you are who is in your body, and every single choice you make is what impacts you and you alone. And if you want to be fulfilled, if you want to be happy, you have to pay attention to all of those things, and you have to actually address those things and really get deep and honest with yourself. So, now that I've shown you sort of what the whole workshop journey is looking like, once again, we will go ahead and jump into day 25, how to make your own worksheets. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited. So, yesterday, how to get the most out of any journal. Today, I'm excited. How to make your own worksheets. So, the first thing that you're going to do when it comes to making your own worksheets, you need to know what you want the worksheet to do for you. Like, what is this worksheet for? The first thing you're going to assess is how often you want to use this worksheet. That determines how many pages you're really going to put in it, because the more pages, the less likely you're going to do it as often. If you want to do it every day, make it one page, half a page, literally make it as short as possible so that it's as easy to access as frequently as possible if that's what you're aiming for. If you know this is something you're going to do once a week, then it's okay to have those 5 pages. Just make sure it's not so long that you feel like, okay, this is taking too much for me to even do once a week. At that point, you would do something like once a month. You need to also, number 2, address your goals. What do you want to learn or gain from this resource? What are you actually trying to accomplish when you complete your worksheet? And just starting off with those 2, goals, the way that I started off creating this analysis worksheet, I knew that, okay, it's not something that's going to happen every single day. You can, if you really have that much time for yourself and you really want to make sure you hone in and you zone in on yourself. It's something that takes about an hour if you're really giving it the attention and the time that it takes to really think and feel and process and soothe yourself. So that's how I knew, okay, this isn't something that it can be one page, but it would be a little frustrating to have as one page or even as 2 where you journal all on one page and then the next page just has analysis information. I knew that, you know what, let's make this more like 4 or 5 pages or however many pages it needs to be, just no more than 7, to make sure that people can actually gain the most out of this resource at this frequency level. And then with that, number 3, you're going to say, why and when is this worksheet useful? So it sort of kind of ties back into 1 and 2. The difference is that if you're asking yourself, why and when is this worksheet useful? You're asking yourself, what feelings or what situations are you going to be in when you're using this worksheet? Because that also lets you know, Okay, you know what? If this is a worksheet where I'm just kind of giving myself information or giving myself a little mini checklist when I'm maybe having an anxiety or panic attack, you know, it needs to be not only very easily accessible, but something so simple that you basically don't even have to read it. It needs to literally say like one word things, like a 3 point checklist that literally says breathe, one, two, three, four. Breathe, one, two, three, four. And then the second checklist is like touch something, see something, describe it. And then the third checklist is like, okay, now defy those limiting beliefs, or something that just lets you know to actually reframe. So maybe just one word that is a trigger, a happy trigger word for you that brings you back to yourself. So if your happy place is like the beach, you could literally just put beach as that third word. However, when and why you use the worksheet also goes into the frequency and the goal and the accessibility. And the last thing that I was saying is the accessibility. On a scale of 1 to 10, not only how useful is this worksheet for you, but how much do you want to be able to access it, and from when, from where? Is it something you only need to have at home? Can you just have it in a physical notebook, keep it on your desk? Is it something that you need to have in your phone because you want to make sure you have it anywhere on the go, no matter what, in your notes? Where do you need to have it? How soon do you need to access it? When do you need to access it? So these things are all important to understand and realize when you're even starting to think about creating a worksheet. Okay. And also, if you need to take some notes, definitely take your notes. I will have this PowerPoint of the last 7 days of this workshop extravaganza. I'll have it available for you on day 30. So if you want to have the actual PowerPoint presentation that I'm showing you now, stick around to day 30. It'll be there for you, and you'll be able to access all of this information at any point that you need to. So, next, we're going to go ahead and move into step two. Step two is creating pages, the page themes, and the sections that go in your pages. So, when I was starting with this journaling analysis worksheet, I was like, okay, I actually listed originally 4 different pages. And on those 4 different pages, the first page I said I was going to have prompts and feelings. The second page I said I was going to have answers and where you write your analysis 1 and 4 answers. And then on the fourth page, I said I was going to have analysis 2 and 3. On the final page, I said I was going to have a space to just put new routines and habits. Now, what actually ended up happening, as you can see here, I still sort of had that same thing where you put your answer and your analysis for 1 and 4 on the same page. I added feelings and answering, like from answering and reading there, I added the prompt there. So I actually kind of combined what I originally thought was going to be the first 2 pages. I made them 1 page. And then on the second page, I added where you answer analysis versions 2 and 3 and create new habits. So instead of the pages I listed being 4 different pages, I made them 2 pages so that I could add 3 different pages that actually go through all of the analysis process, and a final page which actually just gives the rest of the an overview of the analysis process and the journaling space if you just need a little bit more to write, if you didn't really get everything you needed to in those first 2 pages. Oh, so that's also how it can change depending on what happens when you start laying out your workbook. you can realize that, oh, you know what? These 2 pages need to be 1 page, or this 1 page needs to be 3 pages. So definitely start mapping it out, because mapping it out is going to help you figure out where everything actually needs to go. And once you start creating it in that sort of format, you can either create it physically on a piece of paper. I've done that before where I just kind of section things out, wrote it down on a piece of paper instead of immediately creating it in a software like Canva. You can even do it in, there's a fully like drawing sort of app inside the iPhones now. You could do it there. Wherever you can map out this vision of a worksheet, that's where you do it. And that's where you start to create these different page themes and different sections. The only note I do have for creating your page themes and sections, on every single page, I would make sure to have space where you write your name, the date, and any other information that you want to make sure you see and you can have immediately when you're looking through these journal pages through the future. So if you want to make sure, you know what, I want to know what I was doing on this day, or what my main priority was this day, what my main thought was, then you would add a section at the top, the bottom, wherever, that says main thought of the day, or whatever you want to put there, so that you can see, okay, 3 months in the future, you can go back and be like, "Oh, on that day 3 months ago, I was thinking about this as my main thought of the day, and throughout the day, as I was journaling, it still kept popping up because the prompt wasn't even related to that, but I still answered that. So that was really something that was impacting me at that time. How do I even feel about that thing now? And there's definitely sections like that on the worksheets I create where you can actually write down your feelings and thoughts when you're looking back from the future. So definitely, if you want to have that section, add it yourself. I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. It's the rain. Okay, so day 25, uh, we're gonna go ahead with the third step for how to create your own worksheet. You're gonna go ahead and copy it. If you wrote it down in a physical journal and you're like, okay, I need to actually have, like, this is the template so that I can see what it's supposed to look like. Let me actually make one so I can write on it. You're gonna need to have a template version and one that you're writing on and you're actually using, so that you can always go back and revise and edit it, because this is still only the testing phase. What we want to make sure we're doing with the testing phase, three different things. You're going to establish what form of journaling is most efficient for you when it comes to this worksheet. Do you want to print it out and write it? Does it need to be digital and you edit it digitally? But it's still the full worksheet? Does it just need to be in your notes, where you just put bullet points for each different part? Does it need to be voice diaries? Whatever format works best for you is the one that you choose, and that's the part of this testing. The other thing that you're going to test is the layout of this worksheet. Is it something that actually uh, does it flow when you're trying to complete it? Is it something that actually genuinely, when you're writing in the first box, do you naturally go to the second one because that whatever they're asking about is actually in the second column? Or do you naturally go to the third column because now you're kind of zipping around everywhere and there's not actually a flow? How is the layout of the worksheet actually working for you? The other thing is this worksheet actually useful? Is it actually helpful to you? Do you need to ask different questions to yourself, have different sections? What exactly are you actually fulfilling the purpose and goals of this worksheet with the worksheet that you've made? So that's how you can test your worksheet to figure out, okay, is this actually working for me? How can I make this better? And from there, you're going to go ahead and literally just make it better. Revise the worksheet until the sheet starts working for you. Okay. That's it. That is the last step. That is how you create your own worksheet. And those are literally the steps I use to create the journaling analysis worksheet that I've given you guys. Really, it's a mini workbook, like I said, but these are the exact same steps I used. I literally, before I made the worksheet, I was like, okay, what steps would I follow? I literally wrote them down as they are exactly here. The first step I wrote, which I had to actually redefine into the next step, but the first step I wrote was creating the sections and pages. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, 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 in order to do that, you have to have goals and the purpose and the frequency and everything. So it's okay to kind of just keep writing and understanding what the full process looks like. And then maybe you might want to reorder things to figure out where they actually go. That's something that I definitely did with this actual journaling analysis worksheet. I literally just used this process to create this worksheet earlier today. I was like, okay, let's make sure we have the worksheet ready for you guys. And I want to make sure I know exactly how I'm going to teach you to create this worksheet. I wanted it to be fresh on my mind so I could give you the most useful sort of answers possible. Now, with that being said, I do want to briefly go over once again this free journaling analysis worksheet, which is down below in the description box. If you would like to check it out, it'll take you over to the Pampered and Lux website. You click download it, okay, for free, and it's all yours. You can have it. You can download it as many times as you need it. There's no downloading limit. I would say you can just make a copy once you've downloaded it, but some people like they just want to go back to the original link to download it again when they're ready, and you can definitely do that. So at the top here for each page, you can write your name, the date, the different themes or concepts that are specifically being talked about in your answer or the prompt. And remember, if you go back to these days that we've been doing 1 through 24 so far, I definitely mentioned how you can, excuse me, actually figure out the themes and concepts going on inside of your journaling prompts in your answer. So definitely go back to those if you're not sure how to. Go back to your notes as well if you wrote that down. And then there's a area for you to write your prompt. You write your answer, your feelings when you were reading and answering. And the reason I decided to put analysis versions 1 and 4 here, instead of moving the feelings section into the middle, is because I realized that analysis version 4 is usually done before you even answer, because it's there to help you answer your question even more and even in depth and just get you started on the right track for you. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and put analysis version 4 there. And analysis version 1 is usually just a continuation of your answer because you start asking why to your answer. So analysis version 1 is really just answer continued. So that's why I decided to put them there. That's what makes the most sense to me. If you feel like, you know what, that's not working for me, I definitely want to hear your feedback on how the worksheet is working for you, how the daily reset worksheet is working for you. You can definitely give that feedback on Pampered and Lux, the website. You can give that feedback to Pampered and Lux Instagram, and I'll definitely take a note of it and make sure that I revise and edit any worksheets as necessary. So, yes, and like I said, there's always this forward looking back section for you to complete. And also at the bottom of these worksheets, I decided, okay, since we're talking about feelings and sometimes it's hard to even keep track of feelings for people, I definitely put down some feeling meters where you can create a 1 through 10 sort of interaction here. So you can circle your numbers, or you can literally just circle the happy and the sad. You can create a different range for yourself. I really want it to be there for you to just assess your own feelings in your own way before, during, and after you're completing the answers, you're reading the journaling prompt. And then on page 2, all of this is still here. But now, instead of answering specifically, you have your analysis version 2 section, your analysis version 3 section, a section to write down new habits, and then you also have forward looking back. So, what does it look like to actually write something in their forward looking back? I can definitely give you guys a view of that when we go over days. Let me just double check and make sure that I'm not telling you the wrong days. Okay, yes. On day 27, we're definitely going to be going over that exactly. How do you even look forward, like look back from the future? I'll show you guys how to do that with the earlier journaling days that we did for this free Get Ready for Change 30-day challenge, and how we can use those to literally create your own version of life and come up with weekly plans and weekly goals, weekly activities. And the way to do that is actually by starting with forward looking back. Okay. And then the last two pages, I still have a section where you put your name, your date, and everything, because I also feel like if you're using this mini workbook, you're gonna download the whole thing. If you're printing it, you're gonna end up printing all the pages. And for me, I like to write in the margins of notes. I like to be able to write something that's more specific to this actual prompt that I'm answering for the day. So I left little bits of spaces that you can write in if you want to make sure that you can still do that. If you want to add something that's more specific to your daily prompt that you're answering for that day, inside the analysis breakdown, you can do that. And then you can also do it here. And that's also another reason I left this big journaling space. Not only if you didn't get to answer enough here in the first two pages, but if you have notes about how your specific daily prompt relates to this whole analysis process, definitely feel free to leave them in the margins in this journaling space, anywhere on the pages, on the back, on the front, if you're not printing front and back. And yeah, now this last section, we kind of talked about it yesterday on the workshop where I showed you how to make the most out of your journaling experiences. And this just basically overviews everything that the full analysis process really does. This analysis process I've created honestly myself. I didn't really get it from anywhere else. Of course, there have been influences and different things and resources and tools that I picked up along my personal journey. But this whole analysis process is something I've created that not only helps me with journaling and processing my life, but it helps me with changing changing my life, changing my ways, changing just things around me. It helps me also just come up with different actions that bring me peace in life, like things that actually help me specifically, because we are not all the same. We do not all need the same things. We are not all fulfilled and put in a place of peace by the same things. And this analysis process has definitely helped me embrace my personal differences and my personal challenges. And that's something that I definitely wanted to share with you all. So, that that is all for today. I am glad we were able to get on with that. I will go ahead and say that tomorrow's um workshop, let me make sure I'm saying it correctly. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Tomorrow's workshop is where we confront the imposter in you. The workshop is confronting the imposter in you. And when we finish tomorrow, we will be 4 days away from celebrating this Get Ready for Change challenge. You've completed and really been on a very deep, long journey that may feel or seem small and insignificant, but I know that it's not. For me, I see that it's not when I literally think differently, I do differently, and it's not something I'm even specifically intentional about every single minute of the day. I see it in every single minute of the day because my actions are different and I do think different and I just handle experiences differently. And that's what this whole journey has been about, getting ready for change. Okay. At the end of the 30 days, I will still have, free resources again for you guys. I'll make sure that I have Everything is really gonna be a whole celebration, so you really need to pull up, okay? I'll have the free gift, I'll have this PowerPoint for you guys to be able to download at your own and you can look through at your own pace. I'll have, again, those worksheets and everything listed in the description. And I'm excited. I'm ready. I'll make sure to give you guys a final specific time that we're going to be on the last 30-day live because I want to make sure that you are prepared to be able to be there. You can be there. Definitely feel free to leave in the comments which times or which sorts of periods during the day you've been able to watch and be on the lives more in the actual live session. So if it's been my morning sessions that you've been seeing mostly, definitely say, "Oh, I love the morning sessions." If you've been seeing mostly the evening sessions, I haven't been doing those a lot. I really just started doing them a few days ago. Then definitely do that. Say evening sessions. If you were tuning into the afternoon sessions, which I kind of did in the middle of this challenge, then let me know. And tomorrow, I'll give you guys those times. I'll give you the dates and whatnot. Or not the dates, the date for the 30-day workshop. The last workshop, day 30, is October 1st. So make sure you get tuned in, you stay tuned in, and yeah, we're going, we're doing this.